What Ike Allen and Andy Anderson have created at Avaiya is what the world needs.
Hello, Avaiya family. I'm Andy Anderson. My partner Ike Allen and I are teachers, mentors, and the co-owners of Avaiya University. Avaiya is the creator of over 1,000 books, films, courses, teachings, and other supportive resources. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Our fellow teacher Cheryl Fidelman is back with us today to talk about codependency versus inner peace. Cheryl focuses on codependence because it's one of the most obvious ways that we demonstrate our unhealed trauma in our relationships. Her conscious codependence methodology blends a mix of somatic experiencing, cognitive behavioral therapy, and intersubjective meditation to reestablish her clients' self-worth by cultivating a deep sense of belonging within their psyche, spirit, and nervous system. Welcome back to Avaiya, Cheryl.
Thank you. Thanks for saying all of that and reading all of that.
Well, you did all of that, so you do all of that, but absolutely. And always great to have you back and talking about our favorite topic. So what could be better than a conversation on codependency?
Right.
So in today's conversation, why do you see a lot of codependents find themselves in chaotic relationships?
Okay, so I can talk about this forever. We might not even get to any of the other questions. Um, we create chaos, we attract chaos. We attract chaos because a lot of us were trained to be the calm in somebody else's storm. Okay. So somebody else may have a dysregulated nervous system, and the way that they demonstrate that is by yelling or by rage or forceful or being righteous. And we may call that, sometimes we call that narcissism. Oh, I'm with a narcissistic person because their reality is the only reality in the room. Like there is no other reality than their reality. They don't understand impact, right? So they may yell or scream at us or say something diminishing. And we say, ouch, that hurts. And they go, well, I didn't hurt you, right? So they just don't understand impact. And us codependents go, oh, you don't understand your impact on me? You don't know that you hurt me? Okay, fine. I'll set my experience aside. Or you're really angry and upset, I will just show you that I'm calm and I'm grounded so that you can then calm down and be grounded. Or I'll take care of your reality and kind of accept or overlook or numb out to the fact that you're not taking care of my reality. I'll just take care of your reality until you calm down, and then my reality can calm down if you're calmed down. So we attract chaos because we know we are, a lot of us are masterful at handling or managing somebody else's chaos because we know how to set ourselves aside in order to do that. Now, we are often in a high level masterful game at creating outer peace. In other words, let's not fight. You should calm down. You should like me, or let me determine your mood before your mood is even obvious, right? So we're vetting them, investigating them, figuring out what's going on in their energy field before we enter into their energy field, because we're only going to take up this little amount of space that they have to provide. So we will do all of the work to create outer peace, even though there's no inner peace. So then there's no chaos outside, but now there's chaos inside. We're resentful. We feel manipulated. We feel blamed. We feel punished. We feel controlled. We feel silenced. We have no permission to speak up. So now there's this tornado inside, which we'll handle because we're highly trained at managing and holding in everything that's going on in here, as long as everything out there is managed and handled. Or we're so numb and disconnected to our inner world that we don't even know what's happening inside of us. As long as you're okay and I know what's happening for you, that's fine because I don't really even know what's happening over here, right? So Yeah, I think that addresses all my points about chaos and
Yeah,
coding.
no, it's so intricate. It really is. Talk about chaotic, right? It is a very chaotic dynamic and can be pretty complex.
Very
So
complex.
how specifically does codependency contribute to the chaos, right? Like, yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about like the biology behind it, but I'm curious, like, you talked a lot about that right there, but is there anything else you want to say specifically about like the different patterns of codependency contributing to it?
Yeah. So we create chaos because we attract that which we only know how to have, but we don't want that. In other words, for example, in there, I had so many chaotic relationships. I only knew how to have chaos around me. But I didn't want it. It's around me, but I don't want it. And I'm trying to tell the other person, you should change, you should get less chaotic because I don't want this chaos. But it's around me and it's in my field. And I wanted, I I didn't feel safe. I didn't want that feeling. So you're constantly fighting against what's actually in your field because your nervous system only knows how to track that what it's used to feeling unsafe, used to not belonging, used to having desire, longing, but not knowing how to have that longing met. So you only know how to long for what you want instead of actually landing in what you actually want.
Hmm.
So we create the chaos by attracting that which matches our codependency.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned the longing because gosh, isn't that like something that I think anyone who identifies as having codependent tendencies can probably relate to. Yeah, that longing and just never, yeah, seeking, never finding kind of thing. And that, yeah, it's
We
painful even just to hear about it.
Yeah, and we put that longing on people that shouldn't have it. Okay. So you start dating somebody, you marry somebody, and all of your longing and all of your safety and all of your permission to speak or take up space or you have love and intimacy is in this one person. Why them? They're a full-on stranger that came into your life. Now your nervous system is hooked on them, and you're spending years, if not decades, trying to get from them what they can't provide. And so codependency, one of the ideas of my work is that codependency is blind. You become blind to who they actually are, what they can and they can't provide. You become blind to who you are. Okay. You think, oh, you're worth more, or you're worth something different, or you're not worth anything different, or your worth and your value is only going to come to fruition if they see your worth and your value. That your experience is only valid if they see it. Well, why should I say something if they're not going to get it? Well, they're not going to understand it. He or she's not going to see it or get it. So everything is in their hands. Your oxygen, your life force, your worth, your value, your love, your heart is you've put it in this person's hands, not consciously. You're unconsciously recreating a nervous system dynamic that's familiar. I mean, that's not my unique thought. I mean, I'm certainly regurgitating something that's been said by a million different healers and therapists uh, and philosophers that our nervous system recreates that which it knows. So codependency is regressive. When we heal our codependency and we live our lives in the current age of our development, your current wisdom and your current intelligence, then you will have and this is what the conscious codependency processes provides, which is my work. You'll have a deep understanding of your own development, a deep understanding of your own projections, interpretations, desires, a deep understanding of another person's development, projections, interpretations, and desires. You'll know why things are not working or why they are working. You'll know how to speak from the intuition of your true nature versus the regressive intuition of your inner child. And so we want to take that regression out of the driver's seat And once we do, and you're at your current age, because codependency is just an arrested development state, then your relationships will reorganize themselves.
Mhm. And okay, so you mentioned a little bit ago about, well, I guess I don't know if you mentioned this, I can't remember, but your title today is talking about inner peace. So let's talk a little bit about that. How does developing a relationship with ourselves
Mm.
create peace compared to, right, this always looking for the external in order to complete us and all of those things?
So the way that I look at inner peace, it's not just a perpetual state of inner calm. It can be, but inner peace also includes the ability to have all sorts of feelings, emotions, and sensations and stay in your body. So I can feel sad, uncomfortable, unsafe, and not need you to understand me and not reach out of myself for some anchor of safety and reflection. I can stay inside my body and feel all of these feelings and feel a level of surrender and peace that I can handle and manage the myriad of feelings and sensations that are happening within me. This is when the ability to have really powerful boundaries comes in. Because oftentimes we have a sovereign, emotionally independent moment. We put up a boundary, we say no, and then somebody else gets upset. And then we get flooded with emotion and sensation. And then we go, you know what, forget that. No, just kidding. Everything's fine. It's not because we don't want to deal with their upset. It's because we don't want to deal with how we feel when somebody else is upset at us. But when you can have a level of peace and surrender into all of the feelings and emotions that are going on within you, you can have peace and surrender with a whole bunch of feelings that somebody else has. You can sit in somebody else's tornado and witness it, or you can leave the room because you can sit in your own tornado. It doesn't become unsafe. It doesn't become too much. It doesn't make you want to leave your body to handle somebody else's reality, which is really the essence of codependency, is I'm leaving myself, disconnecting from myself to handle your reality. My safety, my worth, my value lies in your mood and your state and your validation or your gaze. So when we really can sit inside of a deep relationship with ourselves, regardless of what's happening with ourselves, that is peace.
Yeah, and a little bit ago you talked about that longing, right? That we project onto somebody else. Like it's like, oh, it must be his responsibility to fulfill all that longing within me. So from that context, how can we take this other, we're talking about inner peace and bringing it inside, how can we fulfill that loneliness within ourselves compared to projecting it out and trying to have someone else fill it?
I don't know that loneliness has to be fulfilled.
How
Uh,
do we, like, if we're expecting someone else to fulfill our, or maybe like really complete us. So that's a better way of maybe saying it, right? I look outside of me and I want this person to complete me. How can we turn it back to ourselves and work, I guess, really recognize we're already complete, first of all, but I think a lot of us think we're not complete. So can you, I guess, talk a little bit about that?
there's something about codependence that latches on to another person and gives them a whole bunch of jobs for us. Well, I'm dating you, or I had sex with you, or now we're married, or now we have kids, and now you have to, speak to me in a certain way. You have to honor me in a certain way. You have to fulfill all the things that make me feel dizzy and unsafe and uncomfortable in life. And if you don't do that, then you're wrong and you're bad, and I'm in a crappy relationship. Um, when we heal our codependency, we can have a healthy level of dependence on another person, wherein we really can see, honor, and accept what the other person is capable of. And if they're not capable of handling some feeling, if they're not capable of doing a job that you think they should have to handle you and take care of you, then you have to undo giving them that job. And sometimes when we like let go of this energetic umbilical cord that we have to another person, you're the ruler of my reality, you're the director of my reality, or you're responsible for me feeling a certain way, then we get to truly strengthen what we're capable of. Truly strengthen what we're capable of in a relationship with ourselves, in a relationship with our family, in a relationship with sort of spirit and the essence of life itself. You will expand what you're capable of when you give people less jobs to handle your
Mhm.
reality.
I love how you language that. That's such a good way of putting it. And I totally can relate to that and 100% understand. Yep. It's like, okay, you got this job and let me give you 10 more. And I don't have any of those jobs, but I'm just going to throw them over at you. So yeah.
Yeah, and your partner or your friends or whoever you're having this experience with will tell you literally or, figuratively, I cannot do that for you, and I won't do that for you. And then we regress and we beg them for years. But see me and understand me, or get this, or can't you understand what you're doing to me? And so we are trying to unblind the blind, and that creates even more chaos within us.
Right. Because our focus is just 100% on how do I get this person? Here's another job, right? Get this
Yes.
person to understand me or whatever it is. And I
Understand me, understand themselves, and understand what they're doing to me. But there's a mirroring because they likely don't understand themselves to the same extent you don't understand yourself. So there's a deep mirroring We can call them controlling or narcissistic or gaslighting or whatever it is, but that is mirroring the disconnect in you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and that's such a good reminder for all of us. And going back to chaos for a minute, can you talk a little bit about like the addiction kind of portion of it? Like in my experience of codependency, I can get like a biological rush um, when I do certain codependent behaviors, when I push my responsibility onto somebody else and give them a job, it can feel good temporarily, like in my biology. Can you share a little bit about like how that works if you're open to it, how you see that tying into codependency, like what actually happens in our bodies?
Addiction is a powerful word. And it's almost like if I don't have that thing, I'm going to have a reaction. I'm going to get some sort of withdrawal symptoms or something like that. And so if we don't have whatever it is, the approval, the validation, the good mood over there, sometimes it's simply just a good mood. If you're not in a good mood, then I don't know then I have to make you dinner or do this for you and even if their good mood has nothing to do with anything that we did, we just still have to make sure that we feel good in their eyes depending on their mood. And so if we don't have that hit of attention or regulation from the other person or peace or connection, we don't know what to do with ourselves because we don't have that in ourselves. We don't have that safety anchor. If you're not in a safe place, I don't have that safe place within me. So I have to create you to be in a safe place, then I have it within me. So if we just don't know what to do with ourselves, we go through some sort of withdrawal if we don't get that hit of connection.
Right.
And some of us are in relationships. I mean, I've been in relationships where I rarely had that hidden of connection. So I was always in a dysregulated place with that person because I wasn't able to create it myself. And so in the process I bring people through, that safety anchor is within you, regardless of what's happening out here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And I appreciate that. And so, okay, let's talk a little bit more about that safety anchor. Like, what are some things that we can do to cultivate that safety anchor within ourselves?
Well, it's a process, but it's important to get to know which part of you is reacting. Because you may think, I don't feel safe, I don't feel safe, I don't feel safe. But are you really not safe? Is your nervous system, is there a real threat, or is your nervous system just perceiving a threat? Just because that person's not happy and you don't feel safe, it doesn't mean you're actually not safe. So can you sit in a feeling and not believe it, but feel it? Can you have a thought like, oh, this person's controlling me or they're mad at me? Can you have that thought about them, but not believe it as your own reality? Because your mind is going to manufacture thoughts, your body's going to manufacture emotions, your body's going to manufacture sensations. So you want to develop a deep inner navigator, an inner witness, so that you know what's popping off inside of your system and where it's coming from. That is a deep, deep self-investigation and knowing. Without that, codependency develops, and it's like, it's not coming from in here, it's coming from you. You're the reason why I'm feeling this way. You're the reason why I'm having this experience, and it's you. Well, I want to, um, like, I want to honor impact. People impact us. We impact other people. But we want to be able to tell is what I'm feeling completely because of the impact of this interaction, or is my body and my mind bringing something to it that might be more magnified than the situation itself?
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing to think about safety from that perspective. Yes, that questioning, okay, well, am I actually not safe? Like truly not safe. And there are some people who truly are not safe. So I don't want to downplay that because that's important. But for all these other scenarios when we are truly safe and yet, yes, believing that we're not based on what's happening in our bodies. So I think that's so important to become aware of.
Yeah, and if somebody truly is not safe, we want to get you so connected to your own reality that your reality becomes non-negotiable. Because what we do is we negotiate our own reality. Like, I feel bullied, I feel controlled, I feel diminished, but I'm going to stay and hang around anyway, right? And so we negotiate with our own inner world. Um, and we also want to be able to take space because you might not be sure. Actually, I'm not even sure if you're safe or not. I'm not even sure if this is like an interpretation of mine. So what my reality is I'm not sure. I'm going to go and take some time to myself. And so oftentimes in codependency, we don't take a breather because I don't want you to think I'm abandoning you and I don't want you to abandon me. So we get hooked in and addicted to the chaos of the dialogue instead of actually letting go. Because codependency is not present, it's future. Well, if I let go, then you're going to abandon me, you're going to leave, and we're going to get divorced, and there's all of this stuff, right? Codependency is of the mind and it's future tripping. It's not presence. You can let go of a moment without letting go of, without the sky falling, okay? But codependency says, hold on, hold on, hold on to the detriment of everything inside of you.
Yeah, and since you mentioned like abandoning yourself or abandoning the other person, what like if we're in the process of abandoning ourselves to manage someone else's mood or energy or try to control them, like what are some, I guess, red flags in our own bodies that we could be aware of that so we know, oh wow, okay, hold on, I'm doing that thing again.
Yeah. Are you proving, explaining, or defending? Prove, explain, defend. So my free gift for the listeners is the PDF of the 3 codes to clear codependency. And so you'll see a lot of common behavioral, developmental roots, and common behavioral patterns in the three codes to clear codependency. One of them is the need to prove yourself. And so if you're proving, explaining, or defending, that those are habits or behaviors that are trying to handle their world. Let me explain to you. Let me prove to you. I have to defend myself because I'm in a state of self-protection and fending you off and proving to you. And so prove, explain, defend, even though we think it's about us, it's about I'm protecting myself, I am fighting for justice. You're really trying to handle their ideas, their thoughts, their narrative about you. You're out of your body trying to handle them. And you're likely in a younger behavior while you're doing that. You're in a younger version of yourself while you're doing that. I used to beg. I used to beg, like one of my boyfriends, I remember I used to beg him to change his mind. Please don't think that about me. Please, please. I used to beg him. And that was like me begging my mom when I was a kid to not yell at me or to not blame things on me that wasn't my fault. That was a big part of my codependency development is my mom was like super paranoid and would just make up stories that were so outlandish that I did and blame me for them and accuse me for them. And I had to constantly like beg her to not see me in that way and to that her try to convince her that her story was not true. And then here I am, there I was 20 years later in a relationship, begging, pleading, proving to this boyfriend. And then if I didn't know it at the time, but in retrospect, I was like, oh my gosh, I was my mother's daughter in that relationship.
Yep, there it is. I totally can relate to that on different kinds of patterns, but yep, all the times that I've put my mom's face on a boyfriend or my dad's face on a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And in the healing world, we say a lot like, oh, you married your father or you married your mother. I think that's valid, but the way I reframe it is you didn't marry your mother or your mother's daughter got married. You, as that child, got married or dated this person.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. 100. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, well,
Mhm.
no, and I appreciate you going through those three flags, right? Things that we can look out for, proving ourselves, explaining, and defending in the world of, okay, wait, am I abandoning myself again? Am I getting wrapped up into the chaos, getting wrapped up into my codependency in those moments? So let's talk about how people can get your free gift. We've got a button below that links over to that. And we also have a button below for a discounted session you're going to offer people with a coupon code they can use. Can you share about both of those?
Yes, thank you. And just so sorry, I just remembered one other thing. The proving and explaining and defending also comes from the distortion of codependency that you're bigger and I'm smaller. And I have to prove to you because your reality means your belief system really means more than mine. And so, in the healing of codependency, we want to bring everybody back to the same frequency because a lot of us feel smaller and diminished than other people. So I just wanted to put that out there, the fusing of the inferiority superiority complex. And you'll get your free gift, and then you'll be on my email list. And I have free workshops and lots of content that I pump out to my email list about my mission, purpose, and passion, which is to dissolve codependency and bring more people into relationship with themselves. And then the discounted offer is a decode your codependency session. It's a discounted 60-minute session. We will get to the root of what keeps hooking into and creating your codependent habits and behaviors so that we can dissolve it and bring you back into a deep relationship with yourself. I think that everybody has a unique codependency blueprint. You just have a unique set of internal traumas, beliefs, thoughts, and reactions that make up your particular way in which you leave yourself. And so we will go into deep work in the session and highlight those.
I love it. Well, thank you for offering that. And again, everyone, so we've got the button below for Cheryl's free PDF. Can you say the name of it again? The
Yeah,
codes, I
it's the
think.
PDF to the 3 codes to clear codependency. So it lists each code, the want to be wanted, the need to be needed, the need to prove oneself, common behavioral patterns, and the common developmental roots, and some questions so you can sort of customize it to your own codependent experience.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. So we got a button below for that, as well as the discounted coaching session with Cheryl. With the coupon code, you can copy and paste to get your discount. Do you have any last insight you'd like to leave us with?
Yes, there isn't one relationship in your life that doesn't reflect your relationship with yourself. That's it.
We'll just chew on that. Well, thank you so much for doing this. As always, I so appreciate it, Cheryl.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, and that inner peace isn't always what we think it is. That's it.
Leaving us with some intriguing things to think about. I love it. Well, thank you for doing this. And I also want to thank the Avaiya students who are watching or listening for showing up for yourself today on your own healing journey. And we'll see you all again very soon. Take care.
Avaiya has changed my life.
Avaiya has made me the woman I am today.
Avaiya is my home.
Avaiya is personal freedom.
Avaiya is the reason my life continuously improves.
Let everyone in your life know about Avaiya.
Everyone needs to know about this amazing company.
Thank you, Avaiya, for appearing in my inbox.
What Ike Allen and Andy Anderson have created at Avaiya is what the world needs.